Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, I'm going to go through an introduction to working through elapsed time problems using number lines. We'll go through some examples together, and then I'll give you some practice problems that you can try on your own. Now remember, elapsed time is the amount of time that passes from the start of an event to the end. Basically, elapsed time is how much time something takes. Let's jump into number one, where we have Jalen started working on his science homework at 5:10 p.m. He finished his science homework at 5:55 p.m. How long did it take Jalen to finish his science homework? Now, when it comes to elapsed time, we'll always have a start time and end time, and then the elapsed time. Depending on the situation, we may need to figure out the start time, end time, or elapsed time. For this example, we're given the start time, 5:10 p.m. We're also given the end time, so 5:55 p.m. We need to figure out the elapsed time, how long it took Jalen to finish his science homework. Let's use a number line to help us figure this out. We always put our start time on the left, so 5:10 here. And then the end time goes on the right, so 5:55. The space between the start and end is the elapsed time. This is what we need to figure out. Now, there are different strategies and ways to think through these. So I'll go through a couple of different ways for this example. Just remember, we're going to work from the start time to the end time to figure out the total elapsed time. The first way we'll do this is by counting up by 10 minutes until we reach our end time. So we're going to make 10-minute jumps. Now, can we make 1-minute jumps or 5-minute jumps? So counting up by 1 minute or 5 minutes? Sure, those will work. We can count up by whatever we would like. But the bigger the jumps, the less jumps we will need to make. And that makes things simpler. I chose 10 minutes here because 10 is easy to work with. We can easily count up by tens. So starting from the start time, we're going to make 10-minute jumps. So 10 minutes, that brings us to 5:20. Another 10 minutes brings us to 5:30. Plus another 10 minutes brings us to 5:40. Another 10 minutes brings us to 5:50. Now, if we do another 10 minutes, that brings us to 6 o'clock. And that's past our end time, so that's too much. We only need 5 minutes here. So let's make a 5-minute jump, and that brings us to our end time, 5:55. Now we add our elapsed time up. We have 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 5 minutes. So 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And that's our elapsed time. So it took Jalen 45 minutes to finish his homework. Now let's clear that and think through this another way. Now, another strategy and way to think through these is to use either exact hours, so 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and so on, or using half past an hour, so 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, and so on. This can give us easier times to work with and set us up with some big jumps on the number line. And really, thinking about these different strategies helps our overall ability to work with and think about time. So for example, if we start at 5:10, so our start time 5:10, and we go ahead 20 minutes, so do a 20-minute jump, that gets us to 5:30. So we're looking at getting to 5:30 here, and we needed 20 minutes to do so. Now, how do we get from 5:30 to 5:55? Well, we need to add 25 minutes. We need to go ahead 25 minutes and make that jump. And that brings us to our end time of 5:55. So we have 20 minutes plus 25 minutes. So we have 20 minutes to get to 5:30 plus 25 more minutes to get to 5:55. 20 minutes plus 25 minutes gives us that elapsed time of 45 minutes. So we get 45 minutes that way as well. So there you have it. There's an example of finding elapsed time using a number line. Let's move on to number 2. For number 2, we have Ava and her brother started playing catch at 3:45 p.m. They played catch for 30 minutes. What time did Ava and her brother end playing catch? So we know the start time. We know what time they started playing catch. 3:45 p.m. We also know the elapsed time. So how long they played catch for. That's 30 minutes. We need to figure out the end time. So, what time did Ava and her brother end playing catch? Let's use a number line to help us figure this out. We'll put the start time on the left, so 3:45 here. And we need to work from that start time to find the end time. Now, we're actually going to go through a couple of different ways to think about this. The first way we'll do this is to count up by 10 minutes. And again, we're going from our start time. So we're going to make 10-minute jumps until we reach that total elapsed time of 30 minutes. Once we reach 30 minutes, we'll see what time it is. And that's our end time. So starting from our start time, we have 10 minutes. That brings us to 3:55. Then we have another 10 minutes. That brings us to 4:05. And then we need one more 10-minute jump for 30 minutes. And that brings us to 4:15. We have 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 10 minutes, which is 30 minutes. And that brings us to our end time of 4:15 p.m. Now, like I mentioned for number 1, could we do 1-minute jumps or 5-minute jumps? So counting by 1 minute or 5 minutes? Sure, those will work. We can count up by whatever number we would like. But the bigger the jumps, the less jumps we will need to make. And that makes things simpler. I chose 10 minutes here because 10 is easy to work with and we can easily count up by tens. Let's clear that and go through this one more way. Now, for this next strategy, we're going to use the upcoming exact hour. And by exact hour, I mean 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and so on. Since we're starting at 3:45, the next exact hour is 4 o'clock. Remember, using exact hours can be helpful. They give us times that are easier to work with and set us up for some big jumps. So to go from 3:45 to 4 o'clock, we jump ahead 15 minutes. So we have a 15-minute jump. That brings us to 4 o'clock. Now, how many more minutes for that total of 30 minutes? Well, another 15 minutes. 15 minutes plus 15 minutes gives us 30 minutes. So we need another 15-minute jump for that total elapsed time of 30 minutes. That brings us to 4:15. So 15 minutes plus 15 minutes gives us that elapsed time of 30 minutes and brings us to the end time of 4:15 p.m. So there you have it. There's an elapsed time problem where we needed to figure out the end time. Let's move on to number 3. For number 3, we have Anne stopped riding her bike at 9:20 a.m. She was on her bike ride for 50 minutes. What time did Anne start her bike ride? So we know the end time. She stopped riding her bike at 9:20 a.m. And then we know the elapsed time, how long Anne rode her bike for. That's 50 minutes. We need to figure out the start time. So what time did Anne start her bike ride? Let's use a number line to help us figure this out. Now, since we know the end time, we need to start there. So we put the end time on the right side of the number line, and we're going to work backwards from that time to figure out the start time. Now, we're actually going to go through a couple of different ways to think through this. The first way we'll do this is to count backwards by 10 minutes. So we're going to make 10-minute jumps going backwards from the end time. And we're going to make 10-minute jumps until we reach that total elapsed time of 50 minutes. Once we reach 50 minutes, we'll see what time it is. And that's going to be our starting time. So working from our end time here, let's make a 10-minute jump backwards. So we have 10 minutes, and that brings us to 9:10. Then another 10 minutes. That brings us to 9 o'clock. Then we have another 10 minutes. That brings us to 8:50. Then another 10 minutes. That brings us to 8:40. And then we need one more 10-minute jump for 50 minutes. And that brings us to 8:30. So we have 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 10 minutes. And that gives us that elapsed time of 50 minutes. And that brings us to our start time of 8:30. So we went backwards 50 minutes from the end time to get to our start time. So Anne started riding her bike at 8:30 a.m. Let's clear that and go through this one more way. Now, for our next strategy, we're going to go backwards to an exact hour. Now, since our end time is 9:20, working backwards, our closest exact hour is 9 o'clock. Now, to go from 9:20 to 9 o'clock, we jump backwards 20 minutes. So we make a 20-minute jump to get to 9 o'clock. Now, how many more minutes for that total of 50 minutes? Well, another 30 minutes. Let's make a 30-minute jump here. 20 minutes plus 30 minutes gives us 50 minutes. So again, we're going to take a 30-minute jump here for that total elapsed time of 50 minutes. That brings us to 8:30. 20 minutes plus 30 minutes gives us that elapsed time of 50 minutes and brings us to that start time of 8:30 a.m. So now that we've gone through some examples together, it's time for you to try some practice problems on your own. So have paper and a pencil ready. Here are your practice problems. Find the elapsed time for number 1, the end time for number 2, and the start time for number 3. You can draw out number lines to help you think through these. I'll give you 3 minutes and then we will go over the answers. Feel free to pause if you need more time or jump ahead to the answers whenever you are ready. Go ahead and start. Okay, so that was 3 minutes. Let's go over the answers. So here are our answers. Now keep in mind, your number lines may look different than mine. And that's okay, as long as you get to the correct answer. For number one, the elapsed time is 45 minutes. For number two, the end time is 6:55 p.m. And lastly, for number three, the start time is 12:45 p.m. So there you have it. There's how to work through elapsed time problems using number lines. I hope that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.